UFC 316, Merab Dvalishvili taking on Sean O'Malley 2. This is the weigh-in recap show. We're also going to be finalizing my picks for the entire card, starting with the first fight of the night, working our way up all the way to the main event. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and let's get this show underway. First fight of the night, we got Markel Medeiros taking on Mark CHINOSKI. The pick all week has been Markel Medeiros. I like his footwork. I like his ability to fight at like all three levels. That being, you know, from the outside, in the clinch, and even his ground game. I think he's pretty solid. Mark, I don't really rank his competition level as high as I do on Markel Medeiros. I mean, he's not, you know, a world beater or anything like that. He's not a, you know, title challenger so far in his career, or where he is today. But like I said, he has you know, a few UFC wins under him. He's got the win over Austin Hubbard and Landon Quinones, who had, you know, a little bit of success on the feet against him. I do think Mark will have some moments of success, but I think Markel's ability to move around the octagon, seeing that it is, you know, a much larger size than what Mark has been used to fighting over at APFC. That's Anthony Pettis' league, if you guys aren't aware. The octagon is much larger, and I think, you know, Markel's, like I said, his style, he likes to, you know, switch up the footwork, fight out of both stances, utilize the entire cage. I think that's definitely going to be, you know, a benefit for him. I do see him winning by decision. I don't think anybody's going to get a finish in this fight, but I do lean Markel Medeiros overall. With that being said, let's get to the weigh-ins. We only had one fighter miss weight, and it was a pretty big weight miss at that. It seemed like, you know, the commission was a little friendly on the scale too. We had a few people that looked, you know, a little surprised that they made the weight too. I think everybody was, you know, making championship weight. Maybe they were just trying to get in, get out. Who knows? But yeah, first fight of the night, Mark CHINOSKI. He looks pretty good. 155, no issues. Looks to be in good shape. Here's Markel. Looks pretty healthy. You know, last week he was supposed to fight Blagioki, but he fell out with a sickness. But he looks to be, you know, pretty healthy. Made weight pretty easily. Doesn't look to be drained or anything like that. And let's get to the ceremonials. You can see Mark definitely rehydrated pretty well. Definitely put on, you know, some, or, you know, what's it called? Drew a blank. He looks good. Let's just say that. He looks good. All right. Here's Markel. Looks pretty good as well. Rehydrated. There we go. Pretty well. And here's the face-off. MMA Junkie, what are we doing, bro? MMA Junkie's been pretty good for a while, and now we're, you know, taking pictures of the cameras or whatever this is. Come on, man. And they posted this. Do better, MMA Junkie. Ultimately, the pick is Markel Medeiros. I think he gets it done probably 29-28 on the judges' scorecards. I think Mark will have a, you know, pretty good first round. Probably be a little bit more explosive. Definitely trying to, you know, cement or stamp his, you know, ticket in the UFC. But I think Markel should be able to win this fight. Next up, we got Killian SALKIID taking on ASHMOUZ. I do like Killian in this fight. I don't think he gets a finish. You know, Yanal is pretty tough. Yanal is pretty tough. He's got this one loss to Chris Duncan, who is pretty good, pretty damn good, I gotta say. Chris Duncan also beat Blagioki. Little MMA, you know, history for you guys. Killian, he's coming off of the, you know, that debut knockout over Anshul Jubilee. Anshul Jubilee's pretty trash, gotta admit. I think he finished him in like under 20 seconds. I don't think he's going to have that same, you know, success against, Yanal. I do see this fight going the distance. Yanal's pretty quick on the feet. Killian, I do like his pressure. He's got pretty good grappling as well. Does have a, you know, reasonable size advantage, 6 foot to 5'9", 75-inch reach to 68. Will he be able to touch him up on the feet? Probably. But like I said, Yanal's been able to take some pretty good shots. Chris Duncan was touching him up, hit him, you know, with some beautiful knees up the middle. He ate a lot of them. I don't know how, but I do see him being able to, you know, to weather a storm. Killian, does he come out with the confidence coming off of that knockout? Probably. Is he going to be looking for another knockout? Probably. But like I said, I think Yanal is pretty tough. You know, he's got some pretty quick high kicks as well. I could definitely see him timing that. Wrestling, I probably favor Quillian, but I don't know. Maybe, you know, method of victory. Maybe he finds a submission. You never know. Wonder what the line is for that. But I am gonna lean Quillian. He's a big favorite. I think he's like upwards of minus 550, somewhere around there. But I do like him to win this fight as well. Here he is on the scales. Here's Yanao, looking pretty good. Like I said, he's a pretty solid lightweight. He is pretty short, but you know, he makes 155 pretty easily too. The height disadvantage is definitely going to be something he's gonna have to overcome. Chris Duncan didn't have that much size on him, but Quillian's a pretty big lightweight as well. Here he is. Definitely doesn't look as jacked as Yanao does, but like I said, that size advantage is definitely going to be, you know, pronounced. Here's the ceremonials. Now we got a little out of order. Here's Yanao. Looks good. There's Quillian. And the face off with the cameras in the way again. This is a terrible angle. This is a terrible photo too. We got to get better, MMA Junkie. We got to get better. But yeah, I'm going with Quillian. Think he gets it done. Probably by decision. Submission is on the table though. I can't see him, you know, getting Yanao down. Probably like late second round, jumping on his back. Maybe finding Gilly. Next up, we got the debut, Ju Sang Yu versus Jekka Seraghi. I think Ju Sang Yu is going to find the finish. I do like a knockout. I think he's going to, you know, want to showcase the hands against the blitzing Jekka Seraghi. He just kind of walks forward. He's going to walk forward into a shot as well. Can't see a ground and pound finish after he clips him on the feet. Definitely has the better striking, definitely faster. I think he's a lot slicker too. And I could definitely see a knockout coming for the South Korean in this matchup. Let's get to the scales. There's Ju Sang. He looks pretty good, man. Featherweight. Looks pretty ripped. Got the tattoo sleeve. Trying to aura farm. But yeah, he looks pretty good. Here's Jekka. I think this is pretty new. Last time I seen him fight, I don't think he had all this ink on him. Or at least the color. I'm not sure. But yeah, another Indian fighter. I'm not a big fan of Indian fighters. A lot of them, you look at Anshul Jubilee, Pooja Tomar, and Jekka Seraghi will be getting knocked out next. Here's the ceremonial. Here's Jekka. A little blurry, but I mean, he looks good on the scale as well. Here's Ju Sang. It's a really good spot for the UFC to put him in, you know, early prelims, get the most eyes on him. You know, a lot of people don't tune in or they don't buy the pay-per-views. So early prelims to get the, you know, maximize the coverage on him. I think this will definitely be a good spot for him. Get some viral clips out there as well. I do think he's going to catch Jekka and he's going to knock him out. Speed, definitely the factor in this fight. Not necessarily like his footwork, but he's very precise and quick with his shots. His timing is really what I'm getting at here, and I think he's going to time, you know, that Jekka blitz, and he's going to knock him out. So yeah, Ju Sang Yu probably first round. Yeah, I could see a first round knockout. Honestly, think he gets it done. South Korea back on the map. Next up, the weight miss for the Queen of Violence. Came in at 132, missed weight by like 6-7 pounds, bro. Taking on Wang Tang. Her name is not Kong Wang. I just found out today. It's Wang Tang or something like that. Picking, almost said her name wrong. Picking Wang. Finish is definitely live. I think Ariana missed the weight on purpose. If you look at if you watch the weigh-in show, she just didn't appear, you know, phased by the weight miss. Didn't really look like she was trying either. Of course, you're not trying if you're missing by 7 pounds. So But the pick has been Wang. I like her striking. I like her footwork. I know she got caught by Gabrielle Fernandez, 2 fights ago. But Ariana's not a big power striker like a Gabby Fernandez. Gabby, she's not a power striker, but she definitely has power. And she's, she rocked Wang, jumped on her back, and submitted her. I don't see Ariana being able to do that. I do know she has some submission victories, but I think the striking differential is just going to be too much for her. I don't see her successfully shooting takedowns either. Wang wasn't taken down in that Fernandez fight. She got dropped. I don't see Ariane dropping her. If anybody's going to get dropped, I do think it's Ariane. But, I mean, the over isn't, crazy in this fight either. She's pretty tough. She doesn't quit on herself, but I like Wang, man. I like her striking. I definitely think, the UFC wants to get her into that flyweight title picture. And, coming off the Fernandez loss, beating Bruna Brazil, they're still, up in the competition. So I like Wang. I think she gets it done. Finish is definitely on the table, like I said, but wouldn't be shocked if we go to decision here. Here she is on the scales, made weight, professional. And shout out to her for, keeping the fight on the card. Here's Ariana. You could definitely tell, she wasn't struggling. She doesn't even look like she broke a sweat to make the weight. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, job could be on the line with a big weight miss like that. Let's head to the ceremonials. The classic Joker face paint. Here's Ariane. She probably looks like 140 here. Definitely trying to, beef up that chin so she don't get starched. That's probably what it was. Cause she knows what the fate is. Here's Wang with the little pose. They both look, to be in pretty good shape. You see Wang's abs here. Ariane's got some abs too. She looks pretty tall too. I know Wang is, in this pose, but she looks pretty tall. Look at Hunter. She looks taller than Hunter. Yeah, I like Wang though. Maybe I'll probably lean decision though. Big favorite as well. I think she's like minus 600. Odds all over this card were disgusting, but definitely gonna be a prop heavy type of night. Next up, Andreas Gustafsson taking on Chaos Williams. Chaos has remained the favorite. I'm kind of surprised. I think it's just because, Andreas is coming off, the short notice replacement where his fight last week with Trevin Giles was canceled. But Andreas, he already displayed what his game plan is going to be, especially in that Trevin Giles fight. I think that fight was definitely harder than a Chaos Williams fight. Trevin Giles is much more accurate, more clean on the feet. He's more technical. Chaos Williams just throws a lot of big bombs. Andres is going to be able to walk through that. He's going to be able to, avoid a lot of the shots that Chaos overloads on. He's going to put him up against the cage and melt him. I could definitely see, a Gustafsson second round finish, maybe even first round. But this dude walks forward like a zombie, and he's going to, put some pressure on Chaos for sure. Chaos coming off of this finish from Gabriel Bonfim. He's got the win over Carson Harris, who I think is trash. And then, Gustafsson coming off the Contender Series knockout 9 months ago now. I know he's taller, but he also has a 4-inch reach disadvantage. Chaos Williams doesn't have like a solid jab where that reach is going to matter. He really just throws, explosive big bombs. And Gustafsson, he's shown that he can, take some damage. I don't think Chaos Williams is going to be the one to knock him out. So I do like Gustafsson as an underdog in this fight. Here's Chaos on the scales. Made weight pretty good. Looks solid. He looks to be, a lot leaner too compared to the past. Here's Gustafsson. I think he used to be I was on Twitter X. I think he used to be a bodybuilder. And I think he was on PEDs or something like that. And now he lost all that weight, but definitely still shredded. You know what I'm saying? There's the ceremonials. Look at him. He's jacked. He's a big welterweight. Here's Chaos. Looks pretty lean. May weight, no issues. Here's a face-off. I think this head is just, made for taking a lot of damage. And I don't know if Chaos will be able to take what he's giving back. The elbows and the clinch, the knees, it's going to be a lot. I think he's going to be able to, zap that gas tank early. And I don't think Chaos will be able to hang on for much longer. So I'm going Andreas Gustafsson. Finish is definitely live. TKO. Late second round, maybe. Next up, we got Sergey Spivak taking on Waldo Cortez Acosta. I'm sticking with my pick. I'm rocking with Waldo. I think he's going to be able to piece Sergey up. Could it be for 3 rounds or could it be a finish? I think he can knock him out. I've never been a big fan of Sergey Spivak. I respect what he's done, but he has been finished in the past before. Jailton Almeida knocked him out. Sirgan knocked him out. Tom Aspinall knocked him out. He's got some decent wins. Tibera, he's another blobby heavyweight grappler first. Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis does not have a ground game at all. I do favor Waldo over Derek Lewis, especially if they were to fight today. I think Waldo would probably get some out of there as well. I know the arm triangle is pretty impressive, but like I said, Derek Lewis has no ground game at all. Waldo, slightly taller, reach is the same. Sergey is definitely going to shoot a lot, but I think Waldo's footwork will be able to get him out of a lot of those takedown attempts. I think he's going to fend off the early ones for sure, and zap the confidence of Sergey. I think if he's not able to take him down early and Waldo's able to get his combinations rolling, it's going to be a rough night for Sergey. Give me Salsa Boy plus money. Came in pretty big too. I think he was 265. Yep, 265. Every bit of it too. But he looks to be in good shape. Doesn't look like a fat 265. You know what I'm saying? He's still got some abs there. Looks pretty good. Here's Sergey. I think he came in 251. He's not as lean as I've seen him before. Definitely in the middle. But yeah, I think Waldo's gonna be able to find that chin. New blood up at heavyweight. Look at Waldo. He looks pretty good, bro. 265. That's a rip 265er. He's probably he probably rehydrated at like 270, 280 almost. That's a big damn dude. I never really pictured how big these guys really could get. You know what I'm saying? There's Sergey. Definitely not as lean as I've seen him before. Here's the face-off. Sergey looks to be a little taller, but could just be this angle, you know what I'm saying? Look at his arms. His arms is pretty skinny too. He's got like that skinny fat build. Yeah, I think Waldo touches him up on the feet. Next up, where we at? Azamat Murzakanov taking on Brendan Ribeiro. I've been picking Azamat all week. I'm rocking with him as well. I do think knockout is live. Probably late first round, early second. The speed is definitely going to be, on showcase. I think he's going to be able to avoid the long strikes of Brendan Ribeiro. Not really looking to grapple with him. Definitely think Azamat is the better striker, the better overall fighter. Brendan, he's been finished in the past. Finished in the past. Min Yang Zhang, who's an absolute monster, knocked him out a year ago. Azamat has definitely fought fighters with a similar build to Brendan with a long reach. Dustin Jacoby, Alonzo Minifield, Devin Clark. I think Devin Clark has a similar reach, right? Devin Clark isn't. What is Devin Clark? 6 feet 75. Okay, no, never mind. Thought he was a little longer. But Dustin Jacoby's 76, 6'3". The height advantage. Excuse me. But yeah, Azamat knockout orders pretty much. 14 fight win streak. I don't see Brendan Ribeiro being the one to finish it. I know this win over DR Nurgazai was pretty impressive. Got the Kimura. 2 months ago. But ASHMOUZ is definitely a better striker than DR. He's not going to, play that game with Brendan as well. Brendan does have some heavy hands, but I think ASHMOUZ, his defensive speed is pretty impressive too. And I don't think Brendan knocks him out or anything like that. Definitely think we're going under as well. Here's ASHMOUZ. Like I said, the build is definitely deceptive. He's a blobby light heavyweight, but the dude is fast. There's Brendan. Dude's tall. Definitely lean for the division. Got them, those long arms. Let's get to the ceremonial. Got to pick the Joe Rogan there or whatever. Here's Brendan. He's pretty ripped. He's really lean, like I said. ASHMOUZ. Here's the damn, Brendan's got a huge head. But that just means it's a big target for ASHMOUZ. And when ASHMOUZ touches you, you fall. So I'm liking ASHMOUZ by finish. I'm going second round. I think it's going to be a big left hook too. That's what I think. Left hook to ground and pound finish. ASHMOUZ MURZAKANOV to get it done. Next up, we got the featured prelim of the night. Bruno Silva taking on Joshua Van. This is a really good fight. Joshua Van has been the pick, is the pick. Still a big favorite. I think he's like -7 something now. This is a really good matchup though. Bruno Silva, I don't think he's going to be able to grapple in this fight. Joshua Van has been able to defend. I think it's like 31 out of 37 of his most recent takedowns. Bruno Silva has missed like his last 7 takedown attempts. So I definitely see this fight, playing out on the feet. I like the way that Joshua Van builds throughout the fight. First round, he's definitely real measured. Second round, he's letting his combinations flow. Third round, he's on you. You know what I'm saying? But he could definitely get started a lot earlier. Bruno Silva, he's pretty quick on the feet. He's got that karate-esque type of style, the Henry Cejudo type of style. But I'm not really a big fan of it. And he's been touched before. Cody Durden rocked him in that fight. He was able to come back and, ended up knocking him out. But he's also got finished by Manel Kopp last time. It was a low blow, but Manel Kopp showed the speed advantage where I think Joshua Van might also have that too. But Joshua Van also carries, I would say he carries a little bit more power than a Manel Kopp. I don't think he knocks Bruno Silva out. But I like the way he pieces his combinations together, and that's where the finish can come. Definitely rips the body pretty well, and I don't think we've seen I don't think we've seen people rip the body as well as I don't know what the hell just happened, guys. Sorry, as well as Joshua Van does, and I think that's the reason why he pulls away in this fight. Let's get to the scales. Here's Bruno to the window, to the walls. To the sweat drip down he's going to lose 29-28. Here's Joshua Van. Looking pretty good. He's also got, I think he's, Burmese or something like that. And they're like, long bloodline fighters. I think they fight to the death or something like that. So he's definitely a warrior. You know what I'm saying? There he is at the ceremonials. He's got the, the Blessed Express tattoo. Is that a rollie? He got the rollie on his wrist? Chill, Van. Here's Bruno. Definitely looks to be a lot leaner than Van. Here's a face-off. These dudes are quick. Flyweight is definitely getting interesting. I like Joshua Van. Charles Johnson finished him. I really like Charles Johnson. A lot of people who have fought Charles Johnson have gotten ranked, whereas Charles Johnson is still not ranked, which I think is pretty interesting too. But yeah, I do think Bruno Silva gets it done by decision. I don't think he's going to knock out Bruno. But if he does, and it's a legit knockout too, not like what Manel Kopp did, Joshua Van probably, damn, who do you match him up with? Flyweight is tough, bro. Maybe the winner of Urseg versus Perez. That's probably what I would do. Could you imagine Urseg versus Van? But yeah, we're not there yet. So let's keep it rolling. Main card opener. If you guys haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We got Vicente Luque taking on Kevin Holland. I'm picking Kevin Holland. He's part of the lock of the week parlay. I like his striking better than Vicente Luque. I think he can match him in the grappling. He doesn't have to worry about a wrestling threat in this fight. And I'm not sold on the Vicente Luque comeback. I know he finished Themba, but Themba is still wet behind the ears, like I said before. Excuse me. Excuse me. I think if Kevin's able to, to keep Vicente at the end of his jab, use the long range weapons, the side kicks, the teeps, the jab, the 1-2s. He's got a pretty good 1-2. He could definitely knock Vicente out with it too. I think Kevin Holland wins this fight. Let's get to the scales. Here's Kevin. May weight, no issues. He's been, a tweener most of his career, but this is definitely the division where he belongs. Definitely has the size and the reach advantage for it. So I hope he stays at 170, unless they match him up with like a Shara at 185, but I still wouldn't like that for him. Here's Vicente. He looks okay. He's never been the most physically impressive guy, but he's got a lot of miles on his body. He also had that, I believe it was like a brain bleed or something like that in his career. He's got a lot on his body, man. He's been finished a few times as well. I think Kevin Holland can knock Vicente Luque out, or he could submit him. You know what I'm saying? Here's Ceremonial. Definitely rehydrated pretty good. Here's Kevin. Kevin really doesn't put on, much. You know what I'm saying? Or have to cut much either. He probably walks around at 185. So here's face off. Vicente was pretty, stoic. Kevin's always been pretty playful, but Vicente wasn't going for it at all. But yeah, I like Kevin Holland. Of course I do. It's part of the lock of the week, so we're riding with him. Next up, this is the people's main event. Mario Bautista taking on Patchy Mix. I thought about pick flipping here, but I'm not. I'm rocking with Mario. I think he's going to show Patchy Mix that the UFC is no joke. Mario is very underrated. They're both on a 7-fight win streak. I think Mario is better on the feet, and I think that's where majority of this fight is going to take place, because Patchy's not that great of a wrestler. He's a pretty good grappler, but you got to get Mario down. You know what I'm saying? Is he going to jump Gilly from, striking range? I don't think so. Is he going to, are they going to fight in a clinch and then he gets Mario's back? Is Mario just going to let that happen? I don't think so. But I do think majority of this fight takes place on the feet. Mario could definitely crack. I've seen Patchy get clipped before. Magomed was able to clip him in that fight. Mario, I'd say Mario's hands are a lot faster and cleaner than Magomed as well. I don't know, man. I'm just not sold on these Bellator guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sold on him yet, and he's gonna have to prove me wrong. And I'll be willing to, bite the bullet on that if Patchy Mix wins. If he does, hey, I was wrong. It is what it is. But I'm rocking with Mario. I know it's not a favorite pick. He's an underdog as well. But I think Mario could show levels in this fight. Winner, fight Umar. That's what, Umar in like October. That would probably be ideal. And then, we possibly get a new contender. Maybe like a Umar and then a Peter Yan fight, or like a Umar. And then, Umar's got to be like top 3, right? He's probably top 3, top 4. Corey's definitely going to be next in line. So yeah, either Umar or like Yan would have to be next. Oh no, Jan's fighting Marcus McGee. So yeah, Umar will be next. Winner for this fight. Patchy's talking like if he wins, he's getting the next title shot. But Patchy, I don't think Patchy beats Corey. So I don't know, man. I'm not sold on Patchy yet. I think he's gonna have to improve in the striking. He's gonna have to be a better wrestler, because there's some guys who can definitely do damage to him. I think Jan could beat him. I think Corey could beat him. I think Umar could beat him. I think he might have some success against Merab. Merab's not a great wrestler. He could just take you down a lot. You know what I'm saying? He's not the controlling type of wrestler. He has 50, takedown attempts in a fight for a reason. He's not really controlling, but he will get you down. I think Sean O'Malley can knock Patchy Mix out. I don't know, man. I'm not sold on Patchy. I'm gonna have to see it, and I'm rocking with Mario. Let's get to the scales. There's Patchy, and I've also, I got this rule where I can't trust a man with no facial hair. So you see me, I don't got the most, facial hair, but I got some. I can't trust a man with no facial hair. So that's another reason why I'm going against Patchy Mix. But yeah, Mario Bautista, he was a little confused that he made 135. He probably thought he, made it at like 136, 135 and a half. Who knows? But he made it according to the commission. There's Ceremonial, Patchy with a little devilish look. There's Mario. Mario's jacked. Mario is jacked. He looks to be in better shape than Patchy too. Definitely knows, what's at stake in this fight too. Fighting a, champion from another promotion. I think Mario's gonna show levels. Here's the face-off. That size advantage isn't as pronounced. Now, on paper, they got Patchy at like, 5'11". Mario's like 5'9", but maybe the reach is what it is. But I think this fight takes place on the feet for majority of the night. But I like Mario. I think it's going to be a razor-thin decision no matter who, where it goes. 29-28, split decision for sure. But I'm rocking with Mario. I'm rocking with the UFC to turn away Patchy Mix. So that's what I'm going with. Next up, the featured fight of the night. Kelvin Gastelum, Joe Pyfer, the rebooking. I'm rocking with Joe Pyfer. Think he's live for a finish as well. Kelvin, he has the famous chin. He's been able to take a lot of damage in his career. But I don't know, man. Joe Pyfer's got another realm of power that he hasn't seen. Who are the hardest strikers that he's fought? Robert Whittaker isn't that big of a puncher. Jared Cannonier is a big puncher. Trying to remember that fight. I can't recall if Cannonier hurt him. Chris Curtis, he's not a power puncher. He's pretty good boxer though. Sean Brady subbed him, and he beat D-Rod. D-Rod's doesn't really have power. So Jared Hermansson's not a power striker. Izzy's not a power striker. Darren Till's not. Yeah, Joe Pyfer is probably the heaviest. Oh, he was supposed to fight Shavkat? Oh, I think Shavkat would have finished him too. Yeah. Joe Pyfer, he's probably going to put Kelvin in a body bag. Could be by knockout or sub. Either way is live. Sean Brady and Joe Pyfer train together. If you guys don't know, they also have the podcast together. If you listen to that, I think it's called, what is it, Brady Bags? Yeah, Brady Bags. I listen to it time and time again. Joe Pyfer has been out for a year though, but that's because the Dustin Stoltzfus fight wasn't able to get booked. I think like 2 times. I think that was a rematch, right? What am I talking about? Yeah, Dustin fought him Contender Series, broke his arm, and I think they were trying to rematch that fight, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But yeah, Marc-Andre Barriault knockout, that was pretty sick. Lost to Jack Hermansson. He's been saying it wasn't a fraud check, and I agree with him. Jack Hermansson's pretty skillful, and he wasn't walking into that fight talking about, I'm about to be a champion. This dude's nowhere on the level of me. Definitely was talking trash, but I agree that this wasn't a fraud, or that fight wasn't a fraud check, but the Bo Nickel fight definitely was. But let's get to the scales. Here's Kelvin, every bit of 185. Definitely should. I don't know, man. It's tough because Kelvin's like an undersized middleweight, but he's too bloated for welterweight. So definitely need like a. I don't even know. a 180 division, but that doesn't even really make sense. Maybe 190. Nah, he'd still be. I don't know where he's a tweener, bro, but he's not. You know what I'm saying? Here's Joe. Dude is large, and I think he's gonna sit Kelvin down for sure. Does he finish him with a knockout? I don't know, but I do see Kelvin getting dropped. Absolutely. Here's Joe PYFER, Mr. Philly. And Kelvin, dude is wide, built like a fridge. I think Joe needs to attack this body, though, because we've seen Kelvin be able to take a lot of headshots. Attack this body and melt him. Maybe we get a sub finish. Wow, come on with this camera in the way, bro. But yeah, I like Joe PYFER. I like Joe PYFER to find a finish. I think he's live for inside the distance. But even if not, I like Joe PYFER. Co-main event of the evening. We got the ladies. Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison. I've been picking Kayla all week, and I'm rocking with it. I know the last time Juliana was this big of a underdog. You know, she beat Amanda Nunes. But I believe Amanda also was sick heading into that fight. I don't think Kayla is sick. She definitely hasn't seemed sick. She made weight, which was very, important for this fight too. Just to see how she looked on the scales, and I don't want to waste any more time. Let's get to it. Here's Kayla, 135. I don't know how she did it, but she did it. And she looked okay. She didn't look as drained as I thought she would. In the past she's made 136. But this being the first time that she made 135, it was very important. She doesn't look that bad. Yeah, she don't look that bad. But I do think Kayla is live for a finish. Elbows, I think, are making a return. And I can see her splitting Juliana's face wide open. And they got a lot of shots there. Yeah, they know how important it was for Kayla to make 135. Here's Juliana. I mean, she made weight. She's almost got like a Kelvin Gastelum type of build too, like wide in the body but the skinny arms. It's kind of weird. But yeah, I do think Kayla is going to flip and toss Juliana all over this mat. Juliana hasn't fought in a year, I believe. When was that Pennington fight? 8 months ago. She's been in and out. Yeah, 2 years, and then 8 months ago, she's been in and out with like a injury. I think it was like a shoulder or a hip injury. I think Kayla's gonna toss her around and stay on top of her, and the elbows are gonna come down. Look how jacked she is, bro. She's a big woman. I like Kayla inside the distance. Juliana didn't even bother to rip off the jacket. Yeah, I like Kayla by finish. And new. Yeah, Kayla and new. Next up, the main event of the evening. If you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Merab DVALISHVILI taking on Sugar Sean O'Malley. I'm pick flipping. I'm going Sean O'Malley. I fell for it. I've fallen for it. Sean O'Malley, TKO or decision. I think he's locked in. I think the injury did play a factor. I think he's going to defend the takedowns. I think he's going to be more active in striking. I think he's going to find a shot. We've seen Merab hurt before, time and time again. We've seen him hurt in the Umar fight. We've seen him hurt in the Sean O'Malley fight. We've seen him hurt by Henry Cejudo. Jan didn't crack him. Otto didn't crack him, but there was somebody else. Marlon cracked him. I think Sean does it. I think Sean hurts him to the body, catches him upstairs, or he just catches him, shooting in for a takedown. Yeah, I think Sean, he's going to look similar to the Aljo knockout. Teep to the body, Merab shoots, sniper right hand right down the middle. Merab drops, finishes him with ground and pound. And knew Sugar Show was back, and then set up the Corey fight. But yeah, I think Sugar Show comes and he performs. Here he is, not seeing the sunken in eyes. He definitely looks to have put in some more muscle on compared to the past. I fell for it, guys. I'm going with Sugar Sean. Here's Merab. Came in 134. Dude he's a machine, bro. Does not care. But I think he's going to get clipped. I think he's going to get clipped. Let's get to the ceremonial. There's Sean. Definitely looks to be in better, physical condition. Think the hip is a lot better. I think he's going to pull it off. There's Merab. There's a face-off. Definitely more intense. Sean was staring into him. He looks like he's about to kill him. And I think he does. I think he's going to find the button. And I think we get Anu. I think Sean's live for the TKO. Now, to pull up the money-making plays one more time, we are going with Kayla, Azamat, PYFER, and Van moneyline -112. We got SALKIID, U, Waldo, Cortez, Acosta +192. Van by decision, Gustafsson moneyline +408. Really like that play right there. We got Kayla Harrison, TKO, Sean O'Malley moneyline +1244. And then we got Gustafsson and PYFER both by KO. Almost 2,000 +2,000 on the odds. Really like these plays. I'm locking them in. And I think UFC 316 is going to be really, really fun and entertaining. But that's what I got for the weigh-in and the final predictions show. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did you agree with the pick flip? Do you like Merab more than, Sean O'Malley? Do you think Patchy Mix is going to make his debut and win? Do you think he's next in line for the title shot? Do you think Juliana is worth the +500 underdog tag? Are you playing it? Or do you think Kayla gets it done? Whatever you got to say, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I will see you for the full card recap show immediately after the card is done. I'll see you on the next one.